Good evening, everyone. Let's get you ready for the weekend. Not a whole lot of change on the way. The morning's not so bad. The afternoon's going to be hot and also mainly dry. Low to mid 90s for highs. So watch out for that. Rain chances running no higher than about 10% any given day tomorrow right on through Sunday. Now we'll take the mainly dry for Live After 5 tomorrow evening. It's the Walrus. Going to have some Beatles tunes for you downtown. We started out in the low 90s, falling into the low 80s. Going to be a warm evening. Just that very slim chance of a shower. Saturday on the LSU campus, a lot like last weekend. A hot afternoon, low to mid 90s. Focus on hydration during the day. And then as we get into the evening, not so bad. We'll get close to sunset at kickoff time 6:45 as southeastern comes in. Mid 80s falling into the upper 70s. Likely dry for that game. All right, now the pattern is hot and mainly dry into the weekend. I'm going to show you why that is and why it might change a little bit next week. So right now, high pressure is centered west of us, kind of ridging east along the Gulf Coast, and that's keeping things hot and fairly dry. Storm system well to our north. This one is going to stay well north of us, not really impact us. So through the weekend, even though the core of the high is west of us, it's kind of ridging eastward along the Gulf Coast, putting a bit of a lid on the atmosphere. But watch what happens into next week. That first storm system moves on out, and the European develops a second and drops it south. So if that plays out, that should lead to better rain chances and a little less heat. The problem is the GFS doesn't show this, keeps the next storm system well to the north as well. So not a lot of confidence just yet in that scenario playing out. So here's what I've got with rain chances as it stands right now. Again, about 10% through the weekend, 20% Monday, and then a little uptick Tuesday, Wednesday before they start to drop off again as we get into late next week. The Weather Prediction Center 7-day outlook suggesting generally an inch or less on average, so not showing anything big, but still these amounts are a bit more than we've seen in the 7-day outlooks recently, so kind of gives you an idea. We should at least get somewhat of an uptick in those rain chances. Tonight we have largely dried out. We had one shower hanging on in Iberia and Vermilion parishes. That now coming to an end as well. Low to mid 70s right now. Baton Rouge 75, Gonzales down to 72 at this hour. So again, the morning tomorrow, not bad. Starts out in the upper 60s, but upper 80s by noon. We'll go with highs again. I'm going to go 93 tomorrow, which would match what we had today with that slim rain chance. Let's get you out into the tropics, update you there. Gabrielle starting to get a little thunderstorm activity flaring, but it's been battling some significant wind shear and dry air. We had a wave behind it. That one is just about a goner at this point. And now we've got another wave coming off Africa. That one only given a 20% chance of development. Gabrielle's been holding steady with these 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to stay well north of the Caribbean islands. That little black dot, that's Bermuda, and the trends have been somewhat favorable, suggesting probably stays east of Bermuda. Note the official forecast does strengthen this, potentially even to a Category 2 by early next week, but the great news here, largely keeping it out over the open Atlantic, so no threat to the U.S. and hopefully not going to directly impact any land areas. So our good fortune here in the tropics continues. All right, into the weekend. Hot, mainly dry. Be careful with that heat. Highs low to mid 90s. And as we talked about, as we get into next week, kind of keeping an eye on this potential pattern change. It's not a slam dunk at this point. Right now, I've got at least somewhat better rain chances Tuesday and Wednesday, but still looking at temperatures pretty close to, if not a bit above normal next week, even as those rain chances climb a bit. All right, stay with us. We're coming right back with more of 9 News at 10.